Hello, everyone. It's great to be here for today's megacast. I am Herman Hesse, Vice President of Solutions here at StrongDM. Today, we'll be talking about some of the most common mistakes you see with cloud infrastructure security and what can be done to prevent them. Previously, infrastructure and the way it was accessed and secured was quite simple. Your database sat next to you in the office and was only available on the office network. Every business now has a decentralized workforce. Traditional headquarters and simple to secure infrastructure have vanished with it. Current environments have no boundaries, are on premises, or in multiple clouds, or even in both. They're ephemeral and dynamic. Additionally, these days we see an increasing number of people who need access to be able to do their jobs effectively. The definition of a technical employee is evolving. People need access to more resources and more data that is stored in more places across a very fluid infrastructure simply to do their jobs. This offers great possibilities, but can be difficult to contain and manage. We want to make it easy for employees to access these resources they need from most places, and we need to be prioritizing secure access management. Today, we rush to deploy new services so quickly that companies often allow information security to be an afterthought. This leaves critical vulnerabilities and misconfigurations exposed to the internet. Every day we hear about new vulnerabilities in tools and systems that we use, such as Log4j and more attacks from hackers like Lapsus. These issues can lead to costly breaches as well as damage to company and brand reputation. We recently asked a few hundred DevOps and security teams to talk to us about managing access to cloud environments and the current workplace. 60% reported having issues specifically with managing access to their cloud infrastructure. These obstacles are real, with 65% of teams using team or shared logins. If you ask any modern legal or information security team, they will quite adamantly say to you that this is a huge liability to any business. Access management solutions were never designed to keep up with all of these users distributed across all of these places, or the complexity and movement of these resources. We should be putting people at the center and devising ways that are easy, fast, and secure for all of these people to gain access to what they need without causing additional administrative headaches, loss of productivity, and opening the door for these people to introduce vulnerabilities to already complex infrastructure. I would like to take the time today to look at 3 costly but easily avoidable cloud infrastructure security challenges and what can be done to address them. Mistake number 1, remote access is not being protected. There is an increase in the number of technical employees across most organizations that are now also distributed globally. Organizations need to open a clear, direct path that gives individualized access to the right people and keeps everyone else out. Services should be available only behind a security solution such as StrongDM or a VPN that is also protected with 2-factor authentication. The second most common challenge is that in the quest for simplicity and speed, companies tend to over-provision user accounts with access to network resources by giving entire groups in the organization, such as IT or the security teams, the ability to see all files and make changes across all systems. Even worse, many of these administrator accounts are not configured to use strong passwords. So if just one of those high-privilege accounts is compromised, the effects can be devastating to the organization. Instead, employees should have the minimal amount of permissions necessary to do their jobs, and all organizations should fully adopt the principle of least privilege. Access controls should be visible for everyone, and that access should be subject to regular review to ensure that it is always the appropriate level. StrongDM grants you access to resources based on the groups you're assigned in StrongDM or by your identity provider, such as an Okta. As an employee, you don't have to know where your resources in the environment or the credentials for that specific resource. You just have to be you. StrongDM truly takes a people-first focus when it comes to both the admin and user experience. As a user beginning the day, we log in with a strong DM desktop client. Once authenticated through our single sign-on solution, as you can see on the screen, which is Okta, we can instantly see everything that we as a user have access to via the SDM client. And that's what you can see on the screen right now is a StrongDM client with the resources that are available to me as a user. And all of this is in a user-friendly way. At this point, we can easily connect to the resources needed to do our jobs. A simple click in the UI and a secure connection to the resources initiated But those of us that are more at home in the CLI, all of this, including login, connection, and viewing the resources, can be done there as well. Similarly to how you would natively interact with SSH, we can run the SDM SSH command to log in and do our jobs. Onboarding and access modification can be done just as easily. Imagine we just got notified of a staff promotion. Our administrator simply needs to authenticate to the StrongDM SaaS UI. Let's give it a second. Navigate to that user, update their role to match their new job profile. This can be done programmatically as well using our APIs. However, on the client side, we will see almost immediately that the resources available to us are updated in seconds with no need to re-authenticate. We're instantly able to access what we need to get inspired in a new role and provide value to the business. Today, we need to perform some work on an EKS cluster in AWS and a Red Hat Enterprise Linux host running in our production environment. Let's start with accessing that Linux host. An SDM status command is run in our terminal and shows us that we're connected and ready to SSH into that resource. Once in, we can run a few commands and move on to our next task. Now let's move into an EKS cluster. We can interact with the cluster normally with kube control. In this case, we're taking a look at what pods are running and accessing the pod with exec. If we have onboarded multiple managed or unmanaged Kubernetes clusters, StrongDM will even update your config file with the currently available contexts. You can see that right there. Okay. It's the end of that demo. In the event of a security incident, arguably the most valuable asset to have and the one that your incident response teams will want to see are the logs. Mistake number 3. Companies are either not logging all activity on their critical assets, or the logs are missing the kind of robust data necessary for any serious investigation. In the same vein, you need to be able to generate audit reports for your critical database servers and web servers so you can answer some critical questions in real time as to who was on the system, what they were doing, and when they were doing that. We also need to ensure that organizations are satisfying their compliance and security obligations. In order to do that, they need to be able to know who, what, where, and when of every single interaction with their resources in their environment. I'm going to go do a quick demo next of what total visibility looks like in StrongDM. Everything done in the StrongDM SaaS control plane is logged, including admin user access and any role notifications. We also log and provide visibility to what was actually done on the resources that were accessed, including full logging of all queries run against your data sources. For SSH, we provide a complete replay of what was done on the resource. You not only get access visibility, but you get to see exactly what commands were run when and by who. This can really, really up-level your troubleshooting and investigative capabilities. On the RDP side, a full video rendering of the desktop session is provided in StrongDM. It's pretty slick. And you can see that's a full screen rendering of everything that's being done in an RDP session with the Windows machine. For Kubernetes, we provide kube control logging to show you exactly what was done in your clusters. And similarly to SSH, we will also provide full replays of any pod exec sessions. And again, you can see that replay being shown up here. And you can see all of your Kubernetes information, or what was done in that Kubernetes kube control command. Since StrongDM is a protocol and identity-aware access proxy, you have deep visibility into what was done on all of your onboarded resources. So we can also stream all of this logging to your SIM of choice. You can be confident knowing exactly what access employees have with total visibility into what they are and should be doing. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me today. I am happy to answer any questions you might have.